Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday and we are back out here on this property that we're mulching down, and I think the owner's got something like 56 acres or something like that here, and we're just clearing until he says stop. So that's what we got. And then tomorrow I'm going to be at his son's property at behind his house, cleaning up some pine trees and some slash that they dropped on a little clearing thing that they were doing. So I'm going to grind all that up, but let me show you what we got for today. All right, so I just got some fuel and some def and some grease in the 120, got her blown off, got the teeth sharpened, got her ready to go. I wanted to do that yesterday before I left, but I worked a little later to get more done, and I have to pick the dog up by no later than 7. I left out of here about 6, and it was about 45 minutes to go get him, so I got there just in the nick of time. So we had to get here a little early this morning and get that thing ready to go, but she's finally ready to pop off. So we're just gonna keep going down this line, down this, so the road is kind of like, right, you can't really see it, but there's a little road that goes on around like that way, and we're just gonna keep going back and forth. And so those gums get a little thick back there. I'm gonna clear that thicket of gums out. I need to clear a few more starting right about there and open that up a little further down that line along that creek bank. And other thing I'm going to do really quick before we get started over there, while I got the machine right here, I'm going to clean up this little edge right here next to the creek bank too, where I left a little bit of that stuff standing, because he wanted me to start at that pond and just work straight back from there. But I'm going to clean that up a little bit really quick, and then we'll head down to that end and start getting that cleaned up. So let's get started. All right, folks, getting the mulcher spun up, and I'm just going to clear this little bit of brush back really quick where this creek is in here, just a little bit, not too close. But this is just awesome blackberry briar. Not exactly sure where the creek is right here, so I don't want to just go headlong into there. branches on them. That hurt like crap if they stick you. Yeah, that was nice. That looks nice. Okay, so for today I thought I would try a little bit different method with my mulching here. Yesterday I was making these long passes parallel to this line back and forth, and what I noticed was I would go forward a little ways and then back up, and then most of the time when I would go back forward again, there wasn't much more for me to, excuse me, have to remulch down. So what I'm doing, I'm making these shorter passes going this way now, and so I'll make a pass in, back up and finish it off, and then when I go back forward again, I'm starting a new cut again back into fresh material, and just kind of working my way down, going about, I don't know, that's probably 15 yards or so from tree to end there, roughly speaking. So just kind of making these short passes, working my way down. So when I get down to the end, I'll start a new cut again, going back, you know, further into the material, and we'll just start working our way back to the front and just keep doing that. Now there's some water up here. There's a low area. It looks like it's got a lot of water. Could be an old rut right through there where they brought the skidder through when they logged this. That's kind of what it looks like. So it looks like it's holding some water and it's kind of mucky. I don't know how much of that we'll be able to mulch, but we'll work around it. All this dude here looks dry, so just got to keep going. right, so here's a quick little mulching tech tip for the day. If you're out mulching on a job somewhere and you're mulching, and so it's about 2 o'clock, I'm gonna run go get some fuel really quick, and you're out mulching and you see that it is about to rain. You see the dark clouds coming, or you look on your phone calling for rain, and I didn't think it was supposed to rain today, but I guess this just kind of popped up out of nowhere, and it may or may not, we'll see. But if it is, and you can, if you've got time to do it, get your machine back to your truck or wherever. And I always carry my backpack blower. Most days it's always in the back of my truck. Definitely if I'm mulching, either with this machine or the Mini. Grab your blower, blow your machine off. Doesn't matter if you've been mulching 1 hour or 5 hours, whatever, or you know it's going to rain the night before, or the night after you get done mulching, and it's going to rain overnight, and you're leaving your machine out on a job and you're coming back the next day. Get that dust off your machine. Just go ahead and blow it off. That took me 5 minutes to get this thing cleaned up really quick. Just do it. Trust me on that, because what will happen, you got all this dust on your machine, rain falls on it, and you would think it's going to wash it off. It doesn't, unless it's like a really big downpour, but typically it's not like a pressure washer. It's going to be just wet enough to make all that dust and everything stick to the machine, and it will be an absolutely complete mess. And the only way really to get it off is to wait for it to dry back off and then try to blow it off, or a lot of times you're going to have to wash it off with a pressure washer. So, you know, if you see dark clouds, clean your machine very quickly. Just blow it off. I didn't break it open or anything. I just cleaned the outside of everything really quick. That's all you got to do. Hopefully that helps somebody.
Perfect.
All right, everyone, that's it for today. My goal was to get that whole second block right there cleared out, but the owner and his son got here, and they wanted me to cut some trails to some deer stands that are way back in there. I didn't film that because we were walking and trying to find our way, and it's just so wet. The GoPro would have just gotten covered in water, and you wouldn't be able to see anything unless I'd have put it in the cab. So but yeah, we made it. It was a little wet, a little sketchy in a couple spots with some of the ruts in the water, but we got it. So we went to a deer stand there, and then another deer stand, and we cut back across, and we basically walked all the way down this tree line and came back out over here. So that worked out really good. So they're happy with that. And he is loving this work out here. And you know, because of all the vegetation when he bought it, he didn't really know what the kind of the lay of the land out here looked like. So now that he's kind of seeing it, what it looks like, I was like, man, this would be a beautiful spot for a house. And he's like, yeah. So it really is a pretty property for around here. And yeah, this would make a beautiful site for a house. You got a nice little, it's not a creek. I thought it was a creek. It's a ditch. But it's a big one. But there's a bunch of beautiful willow oaks and water oaks and some really nice big pines back there that run along it. It's really pretty because that part they didn't plant or clear. So it's really pretty. It's basically got a whole row. They almost look planted of willow oaks that go along it. Sorry, let me clean the water off this lens. There we go. So it's a really pretty property. We're getting it cleaned up. So I'm going to his son's house tomorrow, about 20 or 30 minutes down the road from here. We're gonna clean up some trees and brush and stuff over there. So stay tuned for that. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm sure I'll be back out here to do some more mulching. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody.